Is this thing working? How's everybody going? Everyone staying with it while we're on quarantine lockdown? Make sure you send in some questions. Bit about what I've been up to. Really just hanging at home, getting some good family time in. Getting some good time with Anna and Anders. Got a good push-up challenge in with Anders the other day after getting challenged by Rowdy, Ryan Brockhoff. It's funny because I've been working out at home and now he's like really into doing push-ups, so it's been funny to see that. My quarantine beard is getting coming along. It's getting pretty thick. I don't know if I can keep it going, but we'll see what happens. Have you guys? I'll just see some of these questions. Oh, thanks, Nancy. Favorite places to eat in Cleveland. My favorite places to eat in Cleveland: Restore, Ginkgo, really good sushi place, and Momocho. Those are my top three. Thanks, Nancy. Hope everybody is keeping their social distance and staying safe out there. Give a big shout out to everybody in the hospitals, keeping everyone healthy, and the people in the grocery stores. I think they're doing an awesome job as well. All right. The hardest thing about the NBA. Thanks, Jazz, for your question. The hardest thing I think is going on the road right now, especially having Anders at home. He's almost 5 months now, so the one positive, I guess, out of all this is instead of going on a 10-day road trip, got 10 days to spend with Anders, and that's been a lot of fun. Thanks, Jazz. What else we got here? Am I bored in quarantine, and has home court helped you out at all? The first few days were the toughest, I think. It's just hard, I guess, the shock of what's going on, and you're watching the news and wondering what's happening. But I think after that first 3 or 4 days, have got into a good routine. I think that's the most important thing, is to try to get into a good routine and start getting productive. And your second question, has home court helped out at all? Well, basically stuck poor connection. There we go. So it's been fun to use home court, but it's a bit loud dribbling the ball inside, so I gotta do it when Anders is awake. All right. James, I remember meeting you at MSAC. Appreciate you reaching out. A lot of good memories playing basketball at MSAC. All right. My favorite part of Cleveland before all of this is probably Edgewater Park. I think that's the best spot, especially when the weather's good. Everybody being outside. That's one of my favorite places in Cleveland. And also the Brecksville parks. They're pretty cool as well. Thanks for sending through your questions. All right. Sean, thanks for your question. My favorite athlete growing up was Steve Nash. I've always looked up to him and followed his career when I was growing up, and been lucky enough to meet with him and talk with him and pick his brain and get a lot of good, helpful tips. Okay. All right. Did you like Paris? Thanks for the question. I loved Paris. I had a great time there, looking around. Got to go up the top of the Eiffel Tower, which was really cool. One of my favorite parts of Paris is the Arc de Triomphe, and going up the top of that and just watching that the traffic go around that big roundabout. It's like an 8-lane roundabout, and somehow everybody just figures it out. All right. Okay. See what else we've got here. Did you like it when I was in Milwaukee? Thanks for the question, Milkman. Yeah, no, I loved it in Milwaukee. We had a great time there, met a lot of great people, great friends to this day, and actually ended up getting married in Milwaukee, so it's always going to be a special place for us. Well, that's an important question coming through. Do you have a sustainable amount of avocados? Not right now. I'm starting to get a little bit low, so I think I'm going to have to make a trip to the store soon. What have people been doing for home workouts? So I've had to get pretty creative here. I've been using some water containers as dumbbells, a lot of band workouts, using home court to have some fun, doing some ball handling, and then have been on the bike as well, on the Peloton bike. The first day I was doing one of the classes, and I couldn't get in the top 1,000 people, and I couldn't believe it. I thought there must be some cyclists on there, because I was going pretty hard, but the last couple of days I've got in the top 1,000. But it's been a fair effort to get there. I've had to go all out. What else do we have here? Any book recommendations? Thanks for the question, Violet. My favorite, one of my favorite books of all time is Open by Andre Agassi. It's an autobiography by him, and goes through all the ups and downs of his career and his life, and yeah, really enjoyed that. Thank you. All right. All right. Nikki, thanks for the question. The Delavadaga shot or going to the Sweet 16? Going to the Sweet 16, it was just an unbelievable experience, and lucky enough to have our 10-year reunion at All-Star break. It was great to go back to St. Mary's and catch up with all the boys, and we had pretty much everybody there except a couple of the Aussie boys that couldn't make it. So I think just having that, and I guess we'll always be linked together. And there's a lot of great stories that a lot of us had forgot about that got discussed then, which was pretty awesome. If few people asking, can we see your championship ring? It's in a safe spot right now. Otherwise, I would pull it out for you guys. Lucas Jones, thanks for the questions. Is it true that you did not make the Jamboree? Now, the Jamboree is under 12 team for the Vic Country kids. I made the Jamboree, but I didn't make the Vic primary schools team. So got cut from that team, which was disappointing, but just used it as motivation to continue to get better. Thanks for the question. All right. All right. Favorite place to eat in Moraga? My favorite place to eat in Moraga, which is the town that St. Mary's is in, Bianca's is the local sandwich spot, and then China Moon. Used to get a lot of meals from China Moon and have some fun memories from eating there. All right. What else do we have here? The other thing I've been doing is playing some board games, and our go-to board game right now is Ticket to Ride. I don't know if anyone's played that, but it's good because you can play it a two-player game. Got the win a couple of nights ago, so pretty happy with that. All right, Noah, thanks for the question. What went through your mind putting your body on the line in the 2015 finals? Just trying to help the team win the game, and I mean, I knew how important it was to my teammates, to the fans here, and I mean, you could see I already knew how much it meant to them, but after winning the championship, you really know how much it means to everybody. And one specific moment in one of the games, I remember coming into one of the timeouts, and I was exhausted, but what's up, Brody? Good game on the weekend. And he just said, "Hey, that next loose ball, you got to go get it now." And he was just always gassing me up and pumping everybody up. Really, he was a great teammate. What else? All right, Bailey, thanks for the question. Did you play under 19 Australia Nationals? So I played in the under 18 Nationals for Vic Country. We finished fourth, which was a tough finish. Queensland South got us in the bronze medal game versus a couple of the boys I went to St. Mary's with, Mitch Young and Geordie Page. They had a tough team. And then represented Australia in the under 19 world champs in New Zealand. And unfortunately we finished fourth there as well. So, but that was a lot of fun to play with those boys. We had been living together at the Australian Institute of Sport for the last 3 years, and AZ, how you doing? For the last 3 years, and yeah, it was a really close team, and yeah, just a tough finish. Okay. See what else is go there. Matthew D, thanks for the question. Are you coming to the NBL after you've finished in the NBA? Yeah, I'd love to come play in the NBL. I think the league has really grown in the last few years, and they've been doing a great job. Still definitely want to play in the NBA for a lot longer. I think still have a lot to offer over here, but eventually would love to play in the NBL. Bob Berry with a question: why should my son consider playing basketball at St. Mary's? Good question, Bob. I think number one is the people. Coach B has been awesome for me, and I think it starts with him and the people he brings around. Everybody that comes into that program, either as a coach or a player, and really the whole school in general. It's just a special place because of the people. And I took a visit the year before. I went over to St. Mary's, and as soon as I set foot on campus, knew that was the place for me. And turned out to be right. It was an unbelievable 4 years, and it's my home away from home, and always a lot of fun going back. Liam, who do you go for in the AFL? I go for the Collingwood Magpies. I think we're in for a good year this year, if the season can hopefully get back on track later in the year. Jack, good question. What was going through your head on draft night? Well, I had some pretty good feedback throughout the draft process. I'd worked out for about 15 teams, flying all over the country to work out of the different facilities, and thought I was a good chance of going, in the second round somewhere. And I was actually watching at Coach Bennett's house with a few of the assistants and a couple of friends, and as the names are scrolling through and it's getting later and later in the draft, I'm getting more and more nervous, and unfortunately it got towards the end of the draft, and Twitter was a bit ahead of the TV coverage, so knew I didn't get picked, and that was really disappointing, because I knew how hard it was going to be to try to make the NBA after not getting drafted. But lucky enough, I got an opportunity to go to Summer League with the Cavs and try to prove myself there. So thanks for the question, Jack. All right. Cavs Code, thanks for the question. How good do you think Colin Sexton can get? I think he can be really, really good. I think from last year to this year, he's shown a lot of improvement, and even throughout this season, he's improved a lot, and that's just because he's an extremely hard worker, and he gets better every day, and I think his intensity and focus, and he's still so young, combined with his athleticism, I'm excited to see what he can do the next few years. Thanks for the question. Okay. How good is Cedar Point? That's a good question. Lucky enough to have been to Cedar Point twice, and it was a lot of fun. We went, I think it was after my second year, after we'd been to the finals, and they were good enough to take care of us, and they actually took us up the exit so we could just jump on the front of the line, the front of the ride, and keep moving to the next ride. And it's crazy because usually you get time to recover in between rides, but my stomach was upside down for a couple of days after going on those rides, but it was good fun. All right, I've got a question from Jetty that says, "Who's your favorite teammate?" And then I've also got a question from Z saying, "Who's your favorite teammate?" So I think they must be hanging out, messing with me. So what's up, fellas? Hope you guys are doing well. But come on, man, come on. All right. Graza, did you and Tristan practice alley-oops? I think we did maybe early on, but now it's just like riding a bike. Like when I got back here, it was just straight back to throwing in alley-oops, and it's a lot of fun to have that lob connection with a teammate. So knowing that you can just throw it up and they're gonna go get it. We'll take a couple more questions, but yeah, if there's anything else you'd like to see on social media or video, or if you want me to do another question and answer, just let me know. All right, Floyd, appreciate the question. Hope things are going well there in Australia. What makes you proud to be an Australian? I think it's just having your mates back and just working hard, and yeah, I think the mateship is what is the biggest thing as Australians that we have. And that's what makes playing for the Boomers so special, is that tight bond that all of us have. And I think growing up together, whether it's playing for our state teams or going to the Institute of Sport, that helps it as well. Thanks for the question. Got time for one more. Okay. One more question. Sorry I couldn't get to them all this time, but we'll definitely have to do this again. My favorite meal at Saga when I was at St. Mary's, Clarence's omelets. Clarence's omelets were always good. You had to get in there early before the line got too long. It was that and the grilled chicken. So those were the things that were Saga. Saga is, for those that are asking, is the dining hall at St. Mary's. So just let me know what other content you'd like to see. Definitely got some time on my hands now, but thanks everybody for tuning in. Talk to you guys soon.